students have been asking us about the cutoff for this year's NEET 2024. और usually हम सिर्फ cutoff publish करते हैं. We do not go behind the science of finding the cutoff. And then students have a lot of apprehensions कि ये cutoff ना आपने कैसे find out किए. तो इस बार what we are trying to do is to give you a proper analysis of how have we arrived at a particular cutoff. So if we want to now look at how to basically come down to finding a cutoff, the first thing that we need to do, हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा कि हमें पहले last year 2023 का seat matrix देखना पड़ेगा, which was given out by Bogi. So this is a 2023 का seat matrix, जिसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि these are the medical colleges in JNK. These are the number of total seats in medical college. 85%, as you know, is the state quota, and 15% is the all India quota. For example, for GMC Srinagar, we have 180 seats. 85% of that is 153, while as 15% of that is 27. Further, if you further break down this 27, out of these 27, these will be open merit, and these 14 will be other categories as decided by the national category distribution. While as out of these 153, we would only be bothered about this 54%, or to be exact, only these many seats which are purely open merit for GMC Srinagar. तो अगर आप इसको देखेंगे, ये सारे मेडिकल कॉलेजेस हैं, इसमें जो ये the box in yellow which shows 222 seats for boys and 223 seats for girls, this is the total open merit bucket available for boys, and this is the bucket available for girls. ठीक है. इसके अलावा एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि जो ये 84 सीट्स हैं जो ऑल इंडिया कोटा के थ्रू अवेलेबल है, कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स can also apply to these 84 seats through an all India quota, और वहाँ benefit क्या रहेगा कि यहाँ कोई female reservation नहीं है. So one can actually, if a lot of male students from Kashmir start applying to these colleges through all India quota, the probability of a male student getting through is higher in this particular case. Okay, we'll come on to that later. But as of now, what we are really bothered about is these 222 seats for boys and 223 seats for girls. So now if we move on to, again, if we analyze the data of last year, जब state allocation हो गया, सारी MBBS seats allocate की गई students को, so out of these 220 seats, shockingly, you find out that 175 of these 222 seats were taken up by students from Kashmir division, while as 47 seats were taken up by Jammu division. Similarly, if you look at girls, out of this 223, 153 were from Kashmir division and 70 were from Jammu division. अब एक क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि whether this data is actually accurate or not. We have analyzed it deeply, and there are a lot of reasons for this. First, a lot of Kashmiri students are outperforming Jammu students over the last couple of years. Parallelly, Jammu में बहुत सारे students engineering लेते हैं and predominantly male students लेते हैं. So because वो male students engineering लेते हैं, इसलिए you see that number of male students from Jammu division in NEET is significantly lower than the male students from Kashmir division. So in effect, this is good news for Kashmiri students. पहले हम ये assume करते थे कि this would be 50-50. कि 222 में से 112 कश्मीर के होंगे, 110 जम्मू के होंगे, so on and so forth. But what we'll do is that we'll go along with this trend which was set last year. ठीक है? तो आप ये याद रख लीजिए कि this is the distribution that we will consider in finding out the cutoff this year. If this is clear, parallelly what we also need is the data for this year's performance of our students. So if you look at, this is the student distribution matrix for students from Akash Kashmir centers and Akash Jammu centers. मैं आपको समझा देता हूँ how to read this table. Number of students scoring more than 650 from Akash Kashmir centers is 97, girls are 92. Akash Jammu से कितने बच्चे हैं 650 के ऊपर? 16, girls 19, so on and 9, and so on and so forth. So what we have tried to do for the benefit of the students, we have tried to tabulate this information. आप इसको note कर सकते हैं. You can take a screenshot of this particular page. It will tell you the distribution of students across different marks range. Okay? So we would need this to calculate the cutoff. As you can see, there is a significantly larger number of male students from Akash Kashmir centers who have dominated the result. Now, once we are clear with this data and this data, उसके बाद हमें ये देखना है कि now Kashmir division, we have analyzed the different ads given by different coaching institutes in Kashmir division as well as Jammu division. अब आप जम्मू डिवीजन का कोई भी ऐड उठाकर देख लीजिए किसी भी कोचिंग का, उसमें 600 से ऊपर कितने स्टूडेंट्स को क्लेम करते हैं. सिमिलरली कश्मीर के जितने भी कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं कितने स्टूडेंट्स को 600 से ऊपर क्लेम करते हैं. इफ यू दैट इज इन पब्लिक डोमेन, वो आप भी उठाकर देख सकते हैं. इफ यू डू an analysis of the percentage of students above 600 in their ads, you will find out that Akash Kashmir contributes to 85% of the students above 600 in the ads, whereas other coachings accumulated in Kashmir division is only 15%. Now, if you look at the same data from Jammu division, वहाँ आप ये पाएंगे कि 600 से ऊपर आकाश जम्मू में let's say there are 46 students. An academy Jammu is 20, Alan is 20, and other coachings is 15. So this particular data is actually critical to find out the cutoff, because we will use this as a benchmark against the seat distribution of last year. Now, if you अब हमें पहली शीट से ये पता चला था कि लास्ट ईयर 175 कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स थे out of those 222, right? And there were 153 girls out of those 223 girls. तो ये कश्मीर डिवीजन है and this is the total number of seats. और अभी हमने ऊपर देखा कि आकाश कश्मीर कितने को कंट्रीब्यूट करता है 85%. So if I ask you what is the total number of students that would be selected from Akash Kashmir, or total number of students who will get MBBS seats from Akash Kashmir, आप क्या करेंगे? आप बोलेंगे चलिए लास्ट ईयर की तरह कश्मीर डिवीजन will contribute to 175 seats, और आकाश कश्मीर कितना उसका लेता है 85%. So 85% of 175 is 149. Similarly, 153 girls will take seats from Kashmir division, so Akash Kashmir will take 130. Similarly, if I ask a counter question कि Jammu division में क्या हो, तो आप ये देखेंगे कि this minus this is 48, this is the Jammu division, and this minus this is 70. So this will be the Jammu distribution. Now, if I ask you what percentage of seats would be taken up by Akash Jammu, you will do a 45% of 48, that is 22, and 45% of 30. अब हमने क्या किया? Once this data is clear, if we are sure about this data, we will go back to this seat distribution, the marks distribution matrix for Akash Kashmir and Akash Jammu. तो इस डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग आकाश कश्मीर की सीट्स कितनी होनी चाहिए 150. तो व्हाट यू विल डू इज दैट यू विल स्टॉप एट दैट मार्क रेंज where you will get a sum of 150. So 97 plus 24 plus 23 is 144, which approximately matches 149. So which means that if Akash Kashmir has to contribute 85% of the seats of Kashmir division, the cutoff consequently comes out to be 630. Similarly for girls, if we have to contribute 153 seats, you will stop at that particular point where the sum of all these rows is roughly equal to 130. And in our case, that you stop at a mark range of 570 or 571. ठीक है? तो इस डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग आपको क्या समझ आया कि कट ऑफ या बॉयज के लिए 630 होना चाहिए और गर्ल्स के लिए 570 होना चाहिए. अब इसको रीचेक करने के लिए हम जम्मू के डेटा भी यूज कर लेते हैं. कैसे रीचेक होगा? अब जम्मू में आपने क्या पाया था? जम्मू में 22 कहाँ उठेगा? If you add 16 plus 4 plus 2 is 22. So it so happens that whatever cutoff we try to find out using Akash Kashmir data also matches with Akash Jammu data. Similarly, girls कितनी होनी चाहिए Akash Jammu से? 31. और यहाँ कितनी आ रही है? 28, which more or less again matches this number. So based on these two data, Akash Kashmir and Akash Jammu, and the percentages of 85% being contributed by Akash Srinagar and 45 being contributed by Akash Jammu, we find out that the cutoff for boys for all GMCs would be in this range, and for girls it would be in this range. वो अगर आप आएंगे, if you compare it to last year, it's significantly higher. This also tells you that the number of MBBS selections now from Akash Kashmir would be what? It would be roughly 275. And the number of MBBS selections from Akash Jammu would be 50. So 275 obviously is out of a total of 450. Holistically is a significantly higher number. Okay? तो अब अगर हम ये कट ऑफ डिसाइड कर रहे हैं फॉर ऑल जीएमसीज, आप लोगों का फर्दर एक डाउट होगा कि अब आप हमें स्पेसिफिक कॉलेजेस के कट ऑफ्स के बारे में बोलिए. तो उसमें व्हाट वी हैव ट्राइड टू डू 2023 का हमें ये पता है कि बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स के लिए स्पेसिफिक कट ऑफ क्या था लास्ट में. So these were the cutoffs for specific colleges for boys and girls last year. ठीक है? GMC श्रीनगर में क्या था कट ऑफ लास्ट ईयर? 648. गर्ल्स का क्या था? 609. So on and so forth. ये डेटा आपके पास पड़ा हुआ है. और हमने अभी पाया कि this is our base category, right? This will be considered as our base category. क्या हमने कट ऑफ निकाला कि बॉयज के लिए 630 to 635 होगा और गर्ल्स के लिए it would be 570 to 575. If this was the base category last year, which was 539 and 597, you would see that roughly on an average there is an increase of 32-33 marks in the boys cutoff from 597, and in the girls cutoff it is also, if you consider this 538 as the lowest mark, again a gain of 32 to 33 marks. So once we find that out, what we will do is that we will just add this 32, 33, 35 to the cutoffs of last year to find out the cutoffs for colleges this year. So for example, आप मान के चलिए, for example, GMC Baramulla का boys का cutoff last year was 611. What we are claiming is that the cutoff this year would be 645. 645 minus 611 is what? 34. Similarly, you can take an example of any other college. GMC Jammu 618, and this is again an addition of 32. So this particular thing will be valid for all the colleges. So one more thing that you would have noticed is that कि जो हमने डेटा देखा कि आउट ऑफ बॉयज का 175 स्टूडेंट्स आर बीइंग कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय कश्मीर डिवीजन, दैट इज आल्सो एविडेंट बिकॉज द कट ऑफ फॉर अनंतनाग इज ऑलमोस्ट मैचिंग जीएमसी जम्मू. ये कब होगा? जब द नंबर ऑफ कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स आर सिग्निफिकेंटली हायर देन द नंबर ऑफ जम्मू स्टूडेंट्स. और आई हैव आल्सो ट्राइड टू पुल आउट डेटा फ्रॉम जीएमसी जम्मू. जीएमसी जम्मू में around there are 35 students out of 150 students from Kashmir last year. So which also tells you the fact that the data of 175 out of 223 makes sense. Okay, so this would be the cutoffs for respective colleges. Now one last point is that a lot of you would be feeling what is the error percentage in this cutoff that we have claimed. हमने तो claim किया है कि ये cutoff रहेगा, इसमें कुछ एक error percentage रहेगा. वो error let's say आप बोल सकते हैं कि it will be, so what would be the sources of error in this? क्या क्या error हो सकता है? एक तो ये है कि we have only considered state quota for this discussion. हमने all India quota की बात की भी नहीं. तो अगर आप ऑल इंडिया कोटा को कंसिडर करेंगे तो हो सकता है कि दिस कट ऑफ माइट गो डाउन. अगर ऑल इंडिया कोटा की वो 84 सीट्स को मैं कंसिडर करूं, उसकी वजह से ये कट ऑफ शायद थोड़ा इस रेंज से कम हो सकता है. अदर थिंग दैट कैन हैपन इज दैट इफ स्टूडेंट्स इन दिस रेंज, इन द रेंज ऑफ about 690 start applying to good colleges across India, तो इसकी वजह से क्या होगा, थ्रू AIQ तब आपके कुछ बच्चे एब्जॉर्ब हो जाएंगे पैन इंडिया कॉलेजेस. उसकी वजह से भी द कट ऑफ कैन गो डाउन. सो you should consider this particular cutoff as the most pessimistic cutoff that we have given. कट ऑफ इससे बेहतर हो सकता है या इसी लेवल पे रह सकता है. तो ये चीज होने के लिए कि कट ऑफ इससे थोड़ा बेहतर रहे, दो चीजें करनी है आप लोगों को. एक, ऑल ऑफ यू शुड अप्लाई थ्रू ऑल इंडिया कोटा so that all India quota seats are only taken up by Kashmiri students, and very good students in the range of 690 should think of applying to top colleges across India. अब यहाँ एक हमने लिस्ट बनाई है of top colleges across India. For reference, this year anybody scoring 690 will have an AIR of approximately between 4,000 to 5,000. और जैसे जैसे ऊपर बढ़ेगा, जैसे for example at 695 the AIR would be around 2,000 to 3,000, something of this sort. तो अगर जो भी बच्चे 695 से ऊपर है, जो हमारे केस में 15-20 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, so all these colleges, anybody scoring above 695 can get into these colleges. ठीक है, क्योंकि अब इन सारे कॉलेजेस में तो नहीं आ पाएगा बिकॉज ये कट ऑफ तो 800 पर है, 900 पर है, 700 पर है, so on and so forth. But somebody let's say he has an all India rank of 2000, तो जिसकी भी रैंक 2000 है वो इस कॉलेज में तो अप्लाई कर ही सकता है बिकॉज हिज रैंक इज बेटर देन दिस कॉलेज, या वो इन कॉलेजेस में अप्लाई कर सकता है. इफ यू हैव अ रैंक ऑफ 2000, इफ यू हैव अ रैंक ऑफ 1500, then you can apply so in this college, and if you have a rank of 2000 then you can apply in these colleges. तो जो भी बच्चे अच्छा स्कोर कर रहे हैं, they can look at this option of applying to top colleges across India. Similarly, either you can apply to government medical colleges across India or you can apply to the top AIIMS college in India. Again, anybody who has around an AIR of 2000 can apply to these AIIMS. anybody who has an AIR of 1000 can apply to these colleges. I think this is now more or less clear कि जो इस बार का हमारा कट ऑफ है वो जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था that will be in the range of 630 to 635 and the distribution of colleges across J&K, the cutoffs will be up around this range. I think that is more or less clear.